Hello, welcome to another episode of Talking Rangers. Today is Friday, November 1st. This is episode 43 of the Talking Rangers podcast. The Rangers are 6-2-1, coming off a loss against the Capitals. They'll be back in action tonight for some Friday night hockey at the Garden against the Senators. The start of a 3-game homestand. Senators tonight, Islanders on Sunday, and then the Sabres on Thursday. So a lot of breaks here coming up between games. You got 2 days here between the Washington game. Then you'll have 3 days between Buffalo or the Islanders and the Sabres game. So a lot of time off here for the Rangers recently as they continue on here early in the season. October is over. First game on the first day of November. So hopefully the Rangers sort of continue their winning ways. I mean, they've been winning, although two of the last three, of course, they lost, fell to the Panthers, and then fell to the Capitals on Tuesday. So Joe, got a lot to talk about today on the pod. 9 games in. How's it going, man?
It's good, dude. I mean, they've been good. So, I mean, for the most part, like you said, there's been a couple, alarming signs as far as maybe defensively or, just giving up a lot of chances. But, I mean, they have Igor back there. So, kind of, he's able to cover up for some of those mistakes or some of the not so great play that they have. But, 6-2-1, good start. I mean, they win tonight. You win 7 out of your first 10 games, plus you get the point for the overtime loss against the Utah team. But, as a whole, you can't complain. I think there's been more bright spots than, negative things.
Yeah, definitely. I agree there. Not a lot to complain about. They won 4 straight prior to these last 2 losses against Florida and Washington, and they found a way to beat the Ducks. Close game, but they won that game with quick. So not a whole lot to complain about. The Islanders are pretty banged up and not playing well at all. So that looks like a game that the Rangers should win on Sunday. And look, it's the regular season. Anything could happen, but 3 games coming up that you should be able to win. I guess we'll start here with the big news. Happened a couple days ago now, October 25th. So whenever that was, I think that was believe it was a Monday. I think it was a Monday. Maybe not. No, it was last Friday because
It
today's
was a week from today. It was a week
yeah,
from
week
today.
from today.
Yeah.
Lafreniere got extended, much well-deserved contract extension for him. So we could start there with the positive contract news. 7-year extension, $52 million, $7.45 million AAV, and they lock him up here long term. This season so far, 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points in 9 games. Last year we saw him really take off, and this year we all kind of expected him to take off some more, and he has. So what are your thoughts on this contract?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like by far one of the best contracts, not only just on the team, but in the NHL. I mean, you get a guy that eventually should hit that 90, 80 point mark every year when he gets moved up to the power play, like their top power play, which eventually will happen. But he's just a dynamic 5-and-5 player. I mean, 27 goals last year, 57 points, I think it was, around 26, maybe it was 28 goals, 27, or 28, 29, I think. I think he had 57 points, but besides the fact he didn't play any power play really. So his playing time isn't as much as other players in the league where you kind of look at that point total and be like, what, 7 point, whatever, 7.3 or 7.4, whatever it was. Like, that's a lot for a guy who's only putting up like less than 60 points, but you can kind of see the trajectory of why he's going to get paid that. It's just because he's been good. I feel like the last couple of years, as 2023 didn't get a lot of playing time, but got better. I think he had 39 points. Then last year got better, got more playing time, was more confident. So you can see what the vision is paying him. And I think eventually, like I said, he'll be a point a game player, a 90-point player, where this contract's going to be looking really good soon. But again, I just think he's an aggressive player. He's gritty. Earlier in his career, didn't get a lot of playing time, so he kind of learned more of that checking, responsible game on the third line. And then now he's getting the top line minutes with Panarin and Trocheck. But I think he's been really good as far as, like I said, 5-and-5, pushing the pace, forechecking, does everything pretty well. I think he's a pretty overall solid player of every aspect of his game. And I think he's just going to get better. And I can see even this year, I think I think he'll be around 75 points, and that's not really playing much. Like I said, first unit power play time. But I think it's a great contract. I think it's going to be one of the best contracts in the league soon. And my biggest takeaway from Lafreniere from last year is just his performance in the playoffs. And my thing is, if you're going to perform in the playoffs, like John Carlos Stan, like someone like that, like I will be okay paying you more than maybe even what your production is in the regular season, which I'm not saying it's not going to be good. I think it will be good. Like I said, eventually 80, 90 points. But my biggest takeaway was the way he was able to elevate his game in the playoffs, being able to, skating hard with the puck, getting through the lanes on the rush, forechecking hard. I just think there's so many aspects of the game that I really like, and I think this was a steal. I personally thought it was going to be over $8 million, but it wasn't. So I think it's a great contract.
Yeah, I agree. And like you mentioned, the playoffs last year, 14 points, 8 goals, 6 assists was, had a couple big goals in both series against Florida. Had a couple really big goals against Carolina. Had a couple really big goals. Was really huge the entire playoffs. I don't think he scored against the Capitals, but that didn't really matter
Yeah, I
because
went 4 games. So
yeah, they swept. It didn't matter, but he stepped up in big spots when a lot of other guys went silent. He was one of the lone players on that team last year
yeah,
to continue to produce in big spots last postseason. And I totally agree. There's a lot of guys on this team that struggle in the playoffs. We know who those guys are. So to lock up a player like him that, you're going to get regular season production for his role. And then you also know you're going to get the playoff production as well. Probably, yeah, 80. I forget what we predicted exactly. Points. What was
for this
85?
year, I said low 80s, I think.
Low 80s. Yeah. Somewhere around there, which seems like right now he's pretty much almost a point per game player through the first 9 games with 8
With no
goals.
power play. With no power play.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. With the power play not there, he's not going to be with the power play there. He could be, 100
I think he'd
points,
be a solid 90-point player.
90
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1000%.
Yeah. Without power play, still the low 80s, which is still huge. So I totally agree with the contract. He's in the prime of his career. I don't think anybody really disagrees in his 5th season, only getting better, 23 years old, just turned 23 about a month ago now in early October. So he's rolling it. And look, this is a pick that at first, didn't look great at first early on. He had some struggles, but last year broke out and gets an extension and is here long term, which is really, really good. So I guess that's the positive. I guess we could take a look at the negative of this team right now, or the negative storyline right now with this team is Mika Zibanejad. 9 games in, 2 goals, 5 assists, has not been really the last week has not been playing well at all. Really all year hasn't been playing well at all. And it's getting more and more alarming, I think, as the season goes on, as each game goes by, ever since his struggles that he had last year, where he went months without a 5-on-5 goal. And now he's starting this year pretty much where he left off, which is not producing at all. And looks like he could be in for another one of these like seasons where he kind of just is a power play merchant in a way, and then 5-on-5 wise just doesn't produce, and his ice time is significantly decreased. And there was some interesting quotes that he had to say. So just an ugly situation now with Mika, where it looks like 31 years old, he getting not the same player. Like, I think it's fair to say he's not the same player he was just 2 years ago, even, where he had 91 points in the 2022-2023 season, where they got, of course, up to Tampa and lost. But what are your thoughts? I mean, I know your thoughts, but on Mika.
I mean, yeah, first off, he's got 2 even strength, or 2 5-on-5 points, 1 goal, 1 assist. It's been bad. It's been bad. I mean, he's not producing 5-on-5. He's not, creating many chances. He's not shooting the puck a lot. I mean, I posted an article up on Blue Line Station. If you read that site, check it out. It's pretty good. But I don't know. I mean, like you said, he was good like 2-3 years ago, right? I mean, prior to the COVID season, he was amazing, and it's kind of just been like a like a really, really like decline every year, steadily declining every year as far as like a whole game, honestly. And just like I said, doesn't push the play anymore. He doesn't get a lot of shots on net. He's under like 2 shots a game, which should not happen, especially if you're playing on the power play. Come on, dude, you got to average over 2 shots a game. I mean, it's just not good. I mean, I think, yeah, like 17 shots in 9 games, I think it is. And he's not really a great passer. I mean, stick's so big, right? So he has trouble like handling the puck in those tight spots. So he's not good at he's not a good cycling player. He's soft. I mean, he's an okay face-off guy. decently defensively. I'll give him credit for that. I think he's pretty good in the penalty kill, but when the game gets tighter and it's more congested on 5-on-5, he's just not good. And his numbers speak for itself. I mean, he's got what now? I think I posted a stat. He had like 3 goals in like his last like 55 games prior to like the Montreal game, 5-on-5, and he has 1 this year. So that's 4 5-on-5 goals since Christmas of last year. So he's not producing 5-on-5. You kind of hit it right on the head where he is a power play merchant, but I don't even think he's I think he's the worst player on their power play, which is, I don't know. I mean, because he doesn't shoot the puck, he doesn't use that one-timer anymore. When he does, fans on it or tries to do kind of like a slap pass to Kreider in front or like just misses the net. But I mean, he's been bad, and it's frustrating because you're paying him to be the first line center, and I don't think he is one on the championship team. Maybe a second center. I think they have Trocheck is like a low end first line center, and I think he's like a low end second line center. The way he's playing, if he didn't play power play, he would be under like 50 points easily, I think. So I guess for him, he's going to get points still playing on this lethal power play, but I don't know. I don't really see anything as far as his game getting better. It just seems like it's declining, and I don't know. That line itself hasn't been good. I mean, my biggest takeaway from the season, I know a lot of people are hard on him. I know you weren't a big Kako guy, but I mean, it's so obvious when you put Kako with good players that match his skill set, he's a good player. And you just see that, like we've been talking about that line forever. The first line, the right wingers, just they go there to die, and they've been bad because what do you know? The guys that are constants on that line, Kreider and Zibanejad, have been bad, and they've been ruining players. Like, I mean, if I was on the Rangers and I was a right winger or a left winger, I would not want to go on that line. And it's just disappointing. Like I said, you're paying him $8.5 million. He's one of the cornerstone pieces of this team. He's going to be on the team for a while. I think he's signed to like 2030. But the production isn't there, and maybe it turns around, but I feel like the sample size is a little too big now to say, it's a fluke or eventually he'll get back. But I don't know. Do you see it? Do you see him ever really recovering from this, or do you think his game maybe is a little bit better than this, but not too much better?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's better than this. I don't think he's this bad, but I mean, I think he's just not the same. For whatever reason, he's not the same player he was 2 years ago. I mean, we're seeing like a consistent. This isn't just like a couple week stretch. This has been going on since
Yeah, I
really
mean, even
Christmas,
if
like
it
you
was like a
said.
year, like, oh, it's a down year, but he's consistently year by year, the last couple of
Yeah,
years, been doing the same thing. So you can't even attribute to even being a year, which is a large sample size. But I mean, this year, it's just continuing.
yeah. I mean, it's going on now. What 90 games of this that we've seen him, whether it's last year where he played 81 of 82.
Bad in the playoffs.
Yeah, bad in the playoffs. This year through 9 has done absolutely nothing. Feels like 2022, 2023 was kind of his last big year, and now he's falling apart. And to the point of Kako, I mean, yeah, Kako has proved me wrong. I think he's proving a lot of Rangers fans wrong. I don't think anybody saw Kako playing this well. I mean, I don't think anybody really saw the third line coming out this season and playing at this level, even if you thought it was going to be good. And I don't think you thought I mean, they're playing at an elite level right now. I don't know if anyone expected the
Yeah,
certainly
they're you could argue they're the best 5-on-5 line in the league. They've been
yeah.
tremendous.
And that,
9 goals, and then no goals against is insane.
yeah. I think the third line has all kind of surprised everyone a little bit. Like I didn't hear nobody was calling. I think we all had hopes, Cooley in year 2. He showed you a lot. Certainly some believers still in Kako. I wasn't really one of them, so I was certainly wrong about that. But I don't think anybody saw them playing at this high of a level, this elite level, where some of these games, like they're just simply winning because of the third line. If you take this third line away from this team right now, they are searching for so many answers.
I said this. Listen, I said this at the beginning of the season, and I'll say it again. Their biggest X factor this season was Filipino.
Yeah,
dude, he's been the best player on the team, I think.
Yeah, he's a big piece.
Maybe
you hope that
Igor's been a little bit better, but yeah.
Yeah, you hope that he can kind of be the missing piece of this team that they need. Because if this third line plays like this in the playoffs and like this, you've gotten solid production from the second line, I guess, first line, second line, whatever you want to call them. The Panarin, Trocheck, yeah. That line, like you've been getting solid production from them. It's the it's the first line. It's the
They've,
Kreider
you know,
Mika line.
wait,
Really, is the only line.
they have 3 goals together, and they have 3 goals.
Which line is
As a
that?
line, the Smith line, Zibanejad, Kreider,
Oh
3
yeah,
goals. 3 goals through 9 games.
yeah. It's poor. I mean, and I don't even think Kreider has an assist yet.
No, he's got like 6 goals and like 0 assists.
Yeah. So
It's
they're
hard to get. Wait, it's also hard to get assists when your line mates don't score, though. So I'll give him
it's
that.
true.
And he sits in front of the net in the power play, so he's not really getting secondary, primary assists.
Yeah, he's never been really a big assist guy, but
Scoring power play
9
goals,
games in, you would at least expect like
1 assist.
a crooked number in there. Not even a crooked number, just put 1 in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the fourth line's been, I mean,
They've been fine.
they've been fine. It's the fourth line. I don't really think anybody.
I don't think it matters that much as far as Brzezinski or Rempe, but I think I'd lean more Brzezinski. But I think Edstrom and Carrick have been good.
Yeah, Rempe's got it. He's like, if we're being honest, Rempe.
It's
how many fights has he actually won?
None really.
He won he's won a couple, but like, how many fights has he been in? Like 9? What is he, like 2-7?
Yeah,
realistically, 8
I
fights
think
or however many he's been in. Like, is he 3-6? Like, he's really.
I think the whole Rempe thing has kind of passed. I mean,
yeah, it's dying down, as it should.
But I would like to say this. I actually have a lot of respect for Peter Laviolette for realizing like, hey, that third line is going. They're our best line, and limiting the Zibanejad line's minutes, which we could also talk about, where he kind of went to the New York Post and was pretty much saying that he was upset with his playing time, which again is crazy because he I think he's like the second or third highest. He gets the third or second highest minutes on the team just because he also plays power play and special team or penalty kill, which is special teams. But I mean, he's insane for thinking that he should be out there more than that other line at 5-5. I was pissed off when I heard that quote, but like I said, a lot of coaches might just lean on their veterans no matter what, and I feel like Laviolette has a good feeling of, hey, like I got to get these guys out as much as I can, and vice versa on the other side, where it's like these guys are playing bad, we got to limit their playing time.
Yeah. No, I agree. Mika's giving off, like, do you think he's giving off a vibe of like, I don't know. It's like he's not playing well, but he's trying to just like, I don't know how to describe it, but he's trying to like use the back of his playing card in a way. Like it feels like he's just like, in terms of like what he's done here, and
maybe that
track record, he's trying to like use it.
I mean, maybe just because he's a veteran, maybe he's trying to. But no, I
it shouldn't be. I agree. It shouldn't be that way, but it feels like that's what he's doing.
He hasn't done anything this year. Like, let's be honest.
He hasn't done anything in 2 years.
Why is he on the power play at this point?
I mean,
you can't make an argument. I mean,
no.
Does he have any like power play goals?
I don't think so.
No, he's got 2 points on the power play.
Yeah, I mean, he's only had 2 goals this year. It was the Montreal game
and the empty net.
Yeah. He's had 1 goal.
What has he done to prove that he, like, I know we might just be ripping him this episode, which I don't care. What has he done this year to constitute him playing the power play? What?
Nothing. He hasn't scored a power. Yeah, he hasn't.
A couple lucky passes that got through to Kreider that went in for those 2 assists on the power play. No goals. Why is he on the power play?
I mean, for being honest, why is he? He probably should have been taken off the power play last year. But and we've been saying this, they should have broke these 2 guys up last year. They should have broke them up years ago.
I said he's the worst player on the power play. Like, oh, we want to keep the power play going because they're doing well. They're doing well because of Fox, because of Kreider, because Trocheck wins the faceoffs, and because Panarin, not because of Zibanejad.
Yeah.
Why is he on the power play? I don't get it. I don't get it. Makes no sense.
Lafreniere just sits.
See, now, like, all the conspiracy theorists can go away, where it's like, oh, well, he's not on the power play because they don't want him to have a big year because they don't want to pay him. He's already making the money now. You paid him.
Yeah, you already extended him. That was such a dumb take.
Give him power play time. Zibanejad sucks.
Yeah. And I know How long do you think he's here?
Well, I mean, if he's really
He's not. I
disgruntled,
know he's under contract until what,
maybe
2050
the no move. Who knows?
at this point, but
But his boyfriend's still on the team, though.
yeah, but like remove that. Like, is it possible that this is it for him? If he continues to play like this and they get bounced
Dude,
again, and he doesn't show up in the playoffs,
he's getting paid $8.5, and he's playing like a $4 million. Is he playing like
that's
$4 million?
generous. That's like he's like
Yeah.
$2 million.
If he didn't
He's
play
right
power
now in
play,
terms of
dude,
production. He's probably
if he
one
didn't
of
wait,
the
listen. If
for
he
what
didn't
he's
play power play,
supposed to be doing. He's one of the worst players in hockey. From what
yeah,
like he's supposed up
yeah,
like in terms of not living up to his heck. I just talked about it, the back of his playing card, not living up to his contract. Like he is probably one of the biggest guys in the NHL right now doing that in terms of the expectations that are put on him.
dude, he's not going to score 30 points even strength this year.
No.
If he didn't play
I
power
mean,
play,
heck, does he even hit? I mean, he hit 26 goals last year. Does he even
no,
hit 20
no,
goals?
no, 20. He'll get a couple. He'll get hot for a little probably and
No,
start
I'm
scoring.
sure he'll maybe bury like 2 more empty net goals, 2, 3.
Yeah, he'll be an empty net fiend this year.
Yeah. Last year it was who was VZ? VZ had a
get
couple.
the empty netters.
VZ was an empty net merchant.
He'll be an empty net merch, but I'd say he gets 20 goals, which would be an insanely disappointing season.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised though.
Yeah. I mean, if we're being honest, I think you can make the case that is he the worst? Like, where does he rank? Do you think he's the worst player in terms of like negatively, in terms of actually making impact right now? He's like the least.
Like, yeah, I guess he kills penalties. That's like his only real contribution to the team.
Yeah, but
he's -3 this year, so you could be like, oh, well, he's playing good defensively. Not really. He's -3.
No, he's had some defensive gaffes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people could say, oh, well, the argument always was, well, he's not good offensively, but he's been good defensively. Well, not -3 is not good.
And let's be honest. I know the defense is always like a last resort to try and defend the player. Like always, the defense is still good.
Yeah,
you don't pay a guy that amount of
joking.
money to play defense and suck on 5-on-5 and
we could have
occasionally score on a power
we
play.
could have literally just re-signed Wenberg at that point.
Yeah, exactly. He is. Yeah, it's pretty much it.
Wenberg might score though. Actually, creates more chances than Zibanejad.
Hey, he was showing up. Wenberg was. He hit a couple. He was.
He had an overtime goal.
Yeah, how many goals? Was that it? Was that the only
one? I think that
one?
was it. But I mean, that's more than Zibanejad did.
Well, yeah. I mean, Mika didn't do anything. Mika didn't show up.
Zibanejad didn't score after game 1 of the Hurricane series.
Mika and Kreider both left after Carolina.
Well, at least Kreider had that game 6, and he had that goal in game 4, game 5 maybe of the Panthers.
No, series. Yeah. Well, Carolina, he had the.
Well, I'm saying in the Panther series, he had a goal in game 5. That was a pretty big goal.
Yeah.
They lost that game, but I mean, no, Zibanejad scored 2 goals in game 1 against the Hurricanes and didn't score after that.
No. None of them. I mean,
and all of his points came off the power play.
And then he missed the game 6 opportunity. Right? That was game 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one
power
where
play.
Yeah, it was like the Ryan.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah. The one in front of the net, but he also hit the top of the bar in game 4 on the power play.
So he couldn't. He found everywhere except the net, pretty much.
Yeah.
Honestly,
like
I think he scored in game 2 against the Capitals. He only had 3 goals then because they had the 2 I think he had in game 1 against Carolina.
Yeah, he had 2. And one was a power play. You remember he had like the mini breakaway? He was going for the hat trick and then he just passed it up.
Yeah. And then he had 1 in game 2 against the Capitals.
Yeah. On the power play.
Yeah, and that was it.
He had 2 power play goals and then the 5-on-5 goal to begin the game. That was it. Game 1 of the Hurricanes.
So what after that's jeez.
Yeah. They win 11 games without scoring.
Yeah. 5 against Carolina and then 6. Yep. So, I mean, he might go 11 games without scoring here.
He might never score again.
We might not. No, he'll score. He'll score.
I'll clip this if he has the Capitals 2020 performance.
Yeah. And then we get shut down because of COVID, like 3 games later.
That would happen. He'll start scoring again, and then there'll be like a new COVID.
Yeah, there'll be a new pandemic that shuts down the season. Oh man. I guess more positive stuff because the Rangers are playing well, so I don't want to harp too much on the negative. The third line, we kind of already talked about it a little bit. Kako playing really well. You just look at that unit as a whole. 7 points from Kako, 7 points from Hedel, 8 points from Cooley. Just phenomenal, phenomenal play. 4 goals from Cooley that leads the line, or Hedel rather, that leads the line.
Look at the plus minuses too. They're like
Yeah,
really high.
yeah, very impressive. Everything's been very impressive. The way they push play, the way they were able to, we know Hedel is the way he drives the play was something that this team's been missing.
Haven't get up any goals.
There is part of it too where I starting to buy into the point of maybe Cooley is just the missing piece, or Hedel is. I keep calling Hedel Cooley. Hedel is
They're
just
both
like
the
the
missing
missing
piece.
piece. Like Hedel at 100%. Is that finally what gets this team over the top?
Maybe he's a proven playoff player too. He was their best player in 2022.
Yeah,
in their playoff run, he was easily their best forward.
maybe
outside of Igor, he's their best player, I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, Igor's.
And then when
gonna
Fox is healthy, he's better.
Yeah. He's been great. And I think it's also positive. And we talked about this. I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before that, just to see him healthy and stay healthy has been really good to see.
He might get
and
let
also
up,
just
though.
What do you say?
He might get let up. The way he skates, just tries to go through people.
It's gonna. I mean, he probably missed his time at some point, but ideally he plays. Even if you get like 70 games out of him, and
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. And then healthy for the playoffs.
Yeah. As long as he's healthy for the playoffs, and as long as he's like fresh for the playoffs, not where like he gets hurt at the end of the season and then tries to misses a ton of time and then has to kind of just ramp up again in postseason. Because we saw last year in the playoffs, he was
he wasn't
a little hesitant to go after pucks. Was kind of, you could tell, was still wasn't fully back from his head injury, wasn't fully willing to kind of put his body out there just yet, because he still kind of had that obviously in the back of his mind to try, and was kind of still nursing a little bit. So you get him back in the playoffs fully healthy, like that'll be huge. And it also proves last year that was just kind of a fluke. And Cooley's been great. Cooley's been awesome. Last year we all very impressed out of Will Cooley, very impressed in the playoffs what we saw out of Will Cooley. And Will Cooley's one of these guys that is taking a exact year 2 leap that everybody hoped that we would see him make. And another guy too, where it's like playoffs will be a huge piece. And that's why hopefully like this third line ideally is the difference maker. You put Hedel in there, Cooley's going to show up in the playoffs. Kako potentially on his way to one of his better seasons.
He's been really
drafted.
good. He's been really good this year.
Yeah. And he only got 1 goal, but he's been he could probably finish a couple more, but
he's been dominant though on the forecheck, dominant defensively, dominant along the boards. He just needs a little bit of scoring touch. Yeah. Even Hedel, dude, should have like 4 or 5 more goals, which is insane.
Yeah. The whole line's been great. Even when they don't score, even when they don't necessarily produce from that standpoint, they're not wasting any anytime they're out there on the ice, they're not wasting any shifts at all. Like there's times where like that is one unit that you know what you're going to get every single shift. Like that's just the total opposite from the first line. Like the first line, they go out there and they don't do anything.
Yeah.
Other than Mika passing up a shot, or Riley Smith, who's been
Mika missing the net, falling down.
The net. When is Riley Smith going to get moved?
Like off the team or off that line?
Off the line.
I'd say the only possibility I could see that outside of injury would be if they want to like mess around with the Panarin line, because I'm not touching the third line.
Yeah.
At this point, I would just have it as a sinking ship, and like maybe Riley Smith is really good.
Yeah, it might be.
What if he's really good? What if he's like an elite player still? And then
what if everybody's really good? They just play with Mika and Kreider and then turn washed.
Here's a discussion. I don't think he would be that much better, but Kreider might be better too.
Without Mika?
Yeah.
It's possible.
The problem, people keep saying they're both the problem. I think it's just Mika. I think when you have a center that's soft, doesn't forecheck, isn't a great passer, and can't rush the puck up the ice, I think we got to start looking at him. This episode is pretty much just killing Mika, which he deserves it. But
Mm-hmm.
Kreider might be better, at least
Yeah,
5-5.
he might be. I mean, anything's on the
Manage,
table, I guess, at this point.
the just ruin everybody.
Trade him.
Just put him out there by himself.
1v5.
Yeah,
1 on
he
5.
wants the playing time. Let him play by himself.
Take out Igor. Just let him.
Yeah, he has to defend the net too.
Yeah. If we hear his defense is so good.
Yeah, he wants the playing time.
Yeah. Maybe he's got to be physical then. If it's just him.
Yeah.
Taking pucks to the face, he's gonna have to fight through it. Put a fishbowl on him and throw him out there.
I mean, he may he might have games that are good against bad teams, but you look at a team like the Panthers where they for the most part were getting caved in. Igor played well. They lost 3-1 in that game, but he has no chance of playing well in a game like that. I mean, maybe you can see him playing well in a team like the Canadians. That he can have a good game tonight probably because I don't think the Senators have that great of a defensive structure. The defense as a whole isn't great, but he won't be effective in teams that are in games that are against good teams. So, I mean, even a team like Washington, who was not great defensively, didn't do anything.
Yeah, I agree. This is the bashing Mika episode.
Yeah.
Saban.
You know what we should do? You know how like the Rogers thing was like, oh, like we don't want him to run for president or vice president because he won't be on the Jets. We should all write in Aaron Rodgers on the ballot or make his Zibanejad
on the ballot.
Shit, but he's not. He wasn't born in America now. We'll find a loophole. Zibanejad for president, so he leaves the Rangers.
So he can leave.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote for him.
And then what? Kreider VP.
Yeah, Kreider's Zibanejad for president. No, Kreider president because he's American, and then some loophole where we can have Zibanejad be the vice president.
Yeah. Or just throw like Mika on like Kreider's campaign thing and just
you know what you have to focus on the campaign. Like you leave the Rangers.
Yeah, like you got to start campaigning tomorrow.
We got to get Zibanejad off this team.
Yeah. So we talked third line, talk Mika, talk Lafreniere. Miller, anything else defensively?
He's been
Miller has been good. I feel like Miller. We talk about this a lot. He just relies too much on like his like length and athletic ability, and like it just always comes back to beat him. It feels like.
Yeah, he overcompensates
and he's terrible against the rush.
Yeah, he can't defend the rush. He's not good at the blue lines. He's kind of soft in the corners too. Like that last game against the Capitals, he got out muscled in the corner, lost the puck battle, and then to the net, didn't pick up the guy's stick, and he scored. So
yep,
maybe Trouba's not as bad. All those years playing with Miller,
we're learning a lot this year. Trouba's not bad.
Yeah, so
Jacob Trouba's good.
Yeah,
Riley Smith's actually elite.
He is. Capo's good.
Capo's elite.
But defensively, I think besides Miller, I think they've been pretty solid. I would like to see Jones play more. I don't know why they're not really using him as much. I like Mancini, but
yeah,
I like to see Jones more.
And Ruido's gone.
Over Lindgren, maybe. I don't think he's been that great, but Fox has been decent. And then obviously we don't like. I feel like these episodes we don't talk about Igor at all, but like because he's just Igor. You know what I mean?
He's been doing what we expect him to do.
I mean, some of those saves against the Capitals have been ridiculous.
Yeah, he had no help either that game.
In the Panthers game, had no help. That game should have been like 10-1.
Yeah,
so he's been unbelievable.
He's been doing his normal thing. He's 2.43 goals allowed per game. It's kind of on par of where he should be.
Saved like 40 shots last game.
Yeah, he's been excellent. He's tied for 7th in save percentage, I believe. Yes, he is. He's got the one shutout to open up the year. So
John the Quick's undefeated.
Yes. They're finding ways. They're moving along. You know, I think this is what's good. Like there's the team's a lot of positives, but there are certainly things that still need to be fixed. But they're
Yeah, I
winning
think they
games.
need. I think they maybe need a little bit more adversity. I'm not saying for them to lose, but like maybe they kind of breezed the season last year. I mean, they had that one bad month, but I think adversity can help this team going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I could see that.
Win, but have adversity, which maybe they are. But like Zibanejad playing bad, but
Yeah. I mean, I think too. Maybe I this. Maybe I don't mean I don't think they'll be as good as last year from a regular season perspective, but just maybe having us if they have a slightly worse or just more of a regular season like they had maybe in
22.
yeah, where they were, you know, there were some highs, there were some lows. It was last year was like all good except 1 month.
Yeah,
You know, they have more of like a back down to earth normal regular season where they don't win the President's Trophy, maybe could help. But then again, I don't know. Maybe they need to see more adversity. I don't know how much adversity they need to face though. Like they have faced a lot of adversity from a playoff exit standpoint.
yeah, we'll see. But I don't know. It's just I like the team's gonna make the playoffs. I think
Yeah.
but
If they don't
you'd
make the
like you'd like some players to play better than what they should be.
yeah.
Mika,
This is like first world problems.
yeah, we're complaining about like
A six and
being
two,
built.
6-2-1 team when
We're not complaining about the team though. We're complaining about the
we're
players.
complaining about certain players. Certain players. We're
Yeah,
not complaining about the team. Yeah, we're complaining about like certain players that aren't playing well. So watch out. Don't let the San Jose Sharks get hot. When we last came on here, they didn't win a game yet.
Barkley, Goodrow.
Now they've
That's
won
why
3 straight.
they got the Rangers legends, Wenberg and Goodrow.
Yep. Rangers got to start playing some games, man. Like you look at around the league, every team's played like 11, 12 games, and the Rangers are like 9.
It was
Let's start
nice
playing
though
some
because
games.
like we're both Yankee fans, so we were able to kind of. I feel like when they were playing, the Yankees were playing, but
Yeah,
now
that could
with the
be it too.
Yankees
We've been so
done,
locked in with the Yankees that
yeah,
but it is the truth though. They've only played 9 games. I mean, I know the Devils played 13, but they had those 2 games to open up the year and wherever the heck they were playing.
Finland maybe, Helsinki.
Yeah, I forget. Either way, they won both those games. They're already up to 13 games, but a handful of teams are up to 12. There's like no teams in the Metro have been playing. Like the Metro, 9, like I mean the Flyers have played 11. Flyers got off to an awful start. They were like 1-6-1, and now they've won like 2 or 3 in a row. So, but and the Islanders are a mess. Barzell now is hurt. They're a mess. They've lost 3 straight. They can't. They've already lost what 2 games I think in overtime. 3 games in overtime.
I mean,
No,
they're
they only lost
overtime
1 game
record.
in overtime. No, 2.
They're,
They did lose 2 games because
they're
they lost
overtime
to St.
merchants.
Louis. They got shut out. But they've also won 2 games, I believe, in overtime because I think they won the
They beat the
shootout. I
Devils
think they
in
beat
overtime.
Montreal, and I think they beat the Devils.
Bo Harvey, I think, scored.
Yeah. So they're another team that's going to go to overtime probably like 60 times this year.
Probably they'll get like 50 points off of that.
Yeah, and they'll get into the playoffs and lose in like 5 to like Carolina again. But yeah. So goal scoring picks.
Why do I feel like we just trashed him for this whole episode and he's gonna score? So I'll go Mika.
All right. I'll go I'm gonna go. I gotta go with a safe pick. What's a safe pick? I'll go Panarin.
The bread man.
Islanders.
You can take the Islander first pick.
Islanders, I'll go Laugh.
I feel like Trocheck's too.
Yeah. And then Detroit. Or no, Buffalo. Buffalo, I feel like anybody could score. Are we gonna see them put up like how many goals they score? Are they gonna blow out Buffalo? I thought they were
Yeah, I
gonna
feel
blow out Anaheim. I was wrong about that.
they scraped the win.
Yeah, barely beat them 2-1. So Buffalo, is this finally is this gonna be like a 5-1 game? 5-2? We're gonna get like a garbage time, like empty net Riley Smith goal here or something, or Mika empty net merchant. I'm gonna go. Third line, Buffalo, Heedle.
All right, I like that. We'll go. I'll go Cooley. I feel like he stays hot.
Cooley.
That'd be 2 goals from that line that game then, right?
Yeah. And then Kako with empty net.
I guess we don't. We could. I said we could do that at the beginning of the year. You could choose 2 players to score in a game and be double the points, but they'll all score in that game. Be a line Hattie.
Yeah. They all three scored, or all three scored 3 goals.
they all scored 3 goals? I was
Yeah,
just talking about
9
they
goals.
score like a goal each. Imagine.
They could score 9. Hey, they put up 9 against Philly a couple years ago. Just do it now without Mika.
9 even strength goals by that line would be crazy.
Yeah.
That'd be absurd. So you got Panarin, Laf, Heedle. I got Zibanejad, Trocheck, Cooley, right?
Mm-hmm.
They should all hit. I mean, I am winning right now. I'm up 3-2. So I'm starting to pull away.
I should have had the Lafreniere. That was my pick.
The one that I stole from you?
Yeah.
He was going to score again in that game. But I think that was against Toronto.
Any closing thoughts?
I don't know. I feel like just got to hope that they can continue to play good. I'm expecting a little bit of a run here from Panarin and Trocheck and Heedle, or Lafreniere. I think they'll start putting up. I think they'll start going to score. Their scoring is going to go way up, I think. Not that they haven't been scoring, but I think they'll start scoring a lot more.
Yeah. I agree. So that's another episode. We will be back next week talking all the latest with the team. And yeah, Rangers tonight against Ottawa. A little Friday night hockey at the Garden. So
it's a Zibanejad revenge game.
Yeah. Revenge.
Probably won't score a goal.
Yeah. What about what are our lines up? Islanders. When's the next
Rangers revenge game?
Yeah.
I don't know who's on these teams that were also on the Rangers.
Or Rangers player revenge game.
Like their team revenge game, or like team against them revenging the Rangers?
Actually, there really is none. Like Sam Carrick. We play the Oilers in this month.
Sam Carrick revenge game?
Sam Carrick revenge game. We didn't get a Riley Smith, really. I mean,
when do you think VZ returns? Soon.
Yeah. Hopefully. It's getting closer, I believe.
Yeah.
Should be getting.
Maybe tomorrow. I don't know when he comes off.
I think they said he's trending in the right direction, I think was the word used, I think, by Lavalette the other day. He's practicing, I know, so we'll be back soon. Maybe after this kind of 3-day. They got 3 games from now. They got 3 games really in the next week, so they got some time off. So maybe then. Anyway, we will talk to you guys next week. And yeah, thanks for watching.